We're back with Vice President Joe Biden. Now, sir, you have a new book. It is called Promise Me, Dad. It goes on sale tomorrow. And it is about your son, Beau, and your relationship with him, what he meant to your family, what he meant to our country. And what does the title mean? What was the promise you made him?
The promise I made him, Beau was, the reason I wrote the book, I wanted you all to know what an incredible, I sound like a father, which I am, an incredible man my son was. And secondly, I wanted to give people hope that there is, through purpose, you can find your way through grief. And that's the purpose of the book. And so when he said, we were having a conversation, and Beau was very emphatic. He didn't want anybody to know how desperate his circumstance was. And so he'd say, Dad, look, when they mention me, smile, Dad, smile. Tell them everything's okay. And then he'd say to me, after dinner one night at his home, he said, Dad, I got to talk to you. And we sat with his wife at the table. He said, Dad, I know no one loves me more than you. And he said, but Dad, I'm going to be all right no matter what happens. But you got to promise me, Dad. Promise me you're going to be okay. What he meant by that was, he knows that my whole life that I satisfied me, like him, has been devoted to trying to deal with the things I think we can make the country and the world better. And he was worried that what I was going to do out of grief is I was going to turn inward. I'd take care of the family, but that I would step back from all the things that I've devoted my life to. And so that was the promise. Promise me, Dad, you're going to stay engaged. It wasn't promise me, Dad, you're going to run for president, which a lot of people are trying. No, I really mean it, because he did want me to run for president, but that wasn't the promise. Barack asked me, the president asked me at lunch one day when Beau was sick, he said, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I said, I want to do what I've done, the same answer I would have given you when I was 29, when I was 39, and my age right now. I want to make a difference, and I think I can. And so Beau, we talked about this, Stephen. You understand this better than most anybody. He wanted me to stay engaged. It wasn't about running for president. It was about staying engaged. So I had a great opportunity when I got out of office. All the people, had I run before he got sick, and had I won, the very people I'd have running the State Department, the Defense Department, the National Security Apparatus, are now with me at the University of Pennsylvania. The University of Pennsylvania is going to give me a significant amount of money to hire staff. The University of Delaware has done the same thing, over a couple $1 million. I have first-rate staff people, and I've continued to a group of Nobel laureates, along with guys, the heads of major hospitals like at Sloan and other places, Sloan Kettering, came to me and said, would you keep the Biden Cancer Initiative going, because there's not as much happening now. And so it's all about purpose. And I find it, for me and for Jill and for Hunter and my daughter Ashley, look, when you and I had one of the most, and it presumptuous me to say this, but I feel like I know you, because the last show we had, I think it went in a direction neither of us expected it to go. Mm-hmm. And when I got home, Hunter said, Dad, it was you were good, you and Mr. Colbert were great. He said, but look, here's the deal, Dad. Let's focus on not Beau's loss. Let's focus on Beau's promise, what it is Beau would be doing were he here now. And for me, that's the promise. And I want Beau to be proud of me. I want him to be proud that I'm doing what I've always done and I promised him I would try to do.
Well, talking to you is always enjoyable because you are willing to share in your humanity, warts and all, because grief is something that nobody wants to face. No one wants to invite it, but eventually it comes for everyone. And it's the one shared thing, no matter what your beliefs are, what your religion is, what your political positions are, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, it doesn't matter. And I think one of the reasons why people, 2 years ago when we had you on the show, would have been very happy if you ran for president, is they want someone who shares their humanity and can unite people about common values. Now, I'm not going to ask you if you're going to run for president, because I know you're not going to give me an answer. But, and Are you going to run for president? You're not going to give me an answer.
No, I honest to God don't. Look, anybody who's been through this, how many of you lost someone close to you? Raise your hand. Were you ready to make a decision about a fundamental change in your life immediately after that or shortly after? It's been 2 years. I'm just not, I want to focus on Beau and my grandkids and you know, we'll see where it goes. But
Well, the country's never been more divided. We need a unifier. Who do you like in the Democratic field or the Republican field? Who do you think in 2020 could go, that person has a hope of uniting people?
Well, I think you're seeing it reemerge. I think there are a number of people in the Democratic Party. I'm not going to start naming, I'm going to leave somebody out. But we have some really talented, relatively new people. And just remember, no one knew who Bill Clinton was till about 15 months before he ran, before the general election. No one knew who Barack, they knew the speech, but they didn't have any idea of his presidential aspirations till about a year and a half out. So this is really early in the game. This is really early in the game. And you're already seeing what's happened now in my party is you've seen the surge of a lot of younger women, particularly, and men who are getting engaged and said, enough. Had enough. This last election, I think, was a wave election, all the way from Washington State to Maine, to the Upper Peninsula, to Florida, all sending the same message that we've had enough of this god-awful division. And I think it's gotten bad enough that people are now getting engaged again. Kind of like my generation. When I was in high school and early days of college, the war in Vietnam, it was like, well, drop out, go to Haight-Ashbury, don't trust anybody over 30. But it got to the point in the late 70s when it was like, hey man, this is enough, we got to change this. And our generation changed it. I walked across that stage in '68 after Bobby Kennedy, my only hero, was killed that same day and said, I can be part of fundamentally changing the country. That's happening now. You're going to see so many new candidates out there.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much for being here. Promise Me Dad is on sale tomorrow. Joe Biden, everybody. We'll be right back.